Hello, my name is Nicole, and my persuasive speech topic will be the truth about so-called global warming and what we really should be doing about it. I will discuss the real connection between CO2 and global warming and do a list of the proof of what the facts really are and what we really should be doing, if anything. As you may know, global warming is a growing concern for many people around the world, and although you may think the causes are primarily from humans, it's actually not. Dr. Karlstrom from Climate Change Hoax Exposed article stated, "There is little objective scientific evidence to demonstrate global warming is in fact a real phenomenon. There are numerous facts to show that we humans are not to blame. In fact, John Scott wrote that since 1998, 31,000 scientists have signed a petition agreeing that there is no scientific evidence or consensus that man-made global warming exists, while the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has the support of only 2,500 scientists." Another false claim is that we are all to blame for global warming because of the burning of fossil fuels and producing CO2 in the atmosphere. However, the climate of the Earth is always changing and has been since the beginning of its existence. Evidence suggests that humans have very little to do with it. In fact, we may be heading towards a global cooling age rather than warming. John Scott stated that after taking data from nearly 30,000 stations around the world, have found that the Earth stopped warming in 1997. He goes on to say that the report suggests we are headed towards a new solar cycle, Cycle 25, which NASA's scientists have predicted will be significantly cooler than Cycle 24, which we are in now. Most greenhouse gases are in fact not man-made. According to Christopher Horner, only about 3% of the CO2 produced is man-made. Furthermore, CO2 is not a byproduct or a pollutant, but simply a result of energy production. Stanley Feldman states that the CO2 we produce today when burning fossil fuels is merely returning to the atmosphere as a small part of the plant and animal CO2 from years ago. It is not new CO2 we produce, we are in fact recycling it. Another false claim of global warming is the supposed melting of the polar caps. Global warming activists make it sound like the polar caps are continuously shrinking, but in fact there are advancing glaciers found within miles of melting others. Also, evidence from ice core samples in the Antarctic prove that for roughly the past 50,000 years, or 500,000, CO2 levels have been stable. So it would seem our attempts to preserve the Earth are basically useless. For example, many people buy into the idea of how to care for the Earth, such as recycling. Recycling some things is good, but, for example, a 4-year study was done by the UK Environment Agency with paper towels. According to Feldman, they found that disposable paper towels are no worse for the environment than washable ones. How? Well, if you wash them in water, you use gas or electricity that burns fossil fuels. Then the cleaner or detergents you use goes down the drain into the waterways. So why do people believe these myths? There are a number of scare tactics used to control people by media hype and exaggeration. Weather reports, for example, are sounding worse than ever before, but actually aren't. According to Horner, the National Weather Service Hurricane Research Division claimed that devastating hurricanes such as Katrina are part of a well-documented scale fluctuation of hurricane activity that has been recorded for decades. And bad hurricane seasons are just part of this cycle. It is also our ability to record and report events with the advanced technology that we have now that makes it seem as though there is more destructive storm activity occurring. There is also the irrational belief of the sea level rising to ominous height due to polar caps melting. However, Horner put the sea level rise into perspective by stating that at the current ice loss rate of 0.05 millimeters per year, it would take a full millennium to raise global sea level by just 5 centimeters, and it would take 20,000 years to reach just 1 meter. So what, if anything, should we do? I urge you to do your own research. According to John Scott, the U.S. has spent around $106.7 billion of taxpayer money from 2003 to 2010 to try to understand and fix global warming. The fact of the matter is we are spending enormous amounts of money on an issue that there is no scientific evidence to back. Yet for some reason it is accepted that global warming is scientifically undeniable. Media and scientists' exaggerations are abundant also. According to Climate of Uncertainty, it's no time for panicky rearranging of the global economy. According to John Friend, climate scientists working with the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change have been known to not only spin scientific data to fit their predetermined conclusions, but also to outright fabricate evidence to support their so-called idea of man-made climate change. So in conclusion, I hope this will persuade you to find out the facts for yourself about what is really going on with our planet.